Hey guys, Jess from Knockout Print Shop, and today I have for you my June flip through reverse plan with me, whatever you want to call it. This was kind of a weird month because we moved from Raleigh, North Carolina to Gallatin, Tennessee, and I'm trying to get back in my groove with my planner. So my spreads aren't horrible, but a little bit off, and summer's always kind of weird because, I don't know, kind of everything shifts. So anyways, let's start with the month view. So month view is much lighter than previous months if you've watched my flip throughs, where it's basically full of plant life. So I love my little plant stickers, but what I think I'm gonna start doing obviously is not putting them in here. I've been getting more kind of used to like watering my plants by like sight and touching the soil, so I don't necessarily need to keep track quite as much. I feel like it's more important for me to do that in the winter. But with that said, I may start using these on my weekly here next month or something. I don't know, because I still like to look at them. Okay, so let's see. This is a lot less chaotic than previous months. Basically what I did, I covered up the whatever is right here, the top 5 or something, with one of our quote stickers, and then clearly just had to scratch some things out here, so that looks beautiful. Put my usual contact ones over here just to mark when I need to change my contacts. Used our monthly solid labels, which I like to use to mark off my social media kind of or not social media, I'm sorry, like email schedule. So when I need to send out different emails based on sales and things like that. And then the only other thing that's really on here is a haircut sticker, again, using that same solid label with the haircut icon, and 2 blue solid labels to note when we had new releases. And then I used our monthly dividable washi to mark off when we had our celebration sale. And last but not least, the little vertical striped flags for marking when my online training clients' new programs are due, and a little summer sticker. So that's pretty much it. I didn't really use the monthly a lot. I feel like this month like kind of went fast, but again, it was kind of a cluster. So let's get into week 1. So for some reason, I literally use basically the same color combination the first week and the last week of the month. And I usually like gray with whatever other colors in the palette, but the blues and Everglades, when they're not next to something bright, just kind of seem depressing. So 2 of my 4 spreads are just kind of depressing looking. So I'm not a huge fan of, I don't know if it's all the blue or just the like very muted look, even though I like pastels. Anyways, so I think the way I did this almost every week. Okay, just kidding, 50%. So half of the week or half of the month I did it like this, where I had my priority header and then I had a to-do header. So the priority header is not something we offer as a regular classic header option, but you can get it in our custom headers that we do, or semi-custom headers. So I put those up, and then I had just 1 mini hexagon to mark off the number 1 priority of the day. Sometimes I like to do that versus having a top 3, because I like to kind of approach the day with the like mindset that this is the one thing I have to get done. And like if none of this other stuff gets done, the world is not going to end, but I need to get that one thing done. And we're pretty automated and routine as far as like how we plan our week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is always order day. Tuesdays are kind of like design day. And then Thursday is usually kind of catch up, admin, that kind of stuff. So these usually say the same thing every week. Then to do is kind of, again, my running to-do list for that day. So you can see basically what I did, because I like became obsessed with our outline boxes. As you know, I used to draw boxes around, which I still like how that looks, but it's kind of nice to have these like nice little boxes here. So our outline boxes, use those to kind of bring attention to tasks and write some notes or details of that particular topic or group of tasks. And kind of block out some time or space in my planner. So again, just using like the dollar icon for financial things, or the piggy bank. I love the computer icon, as I'm sure you know if you've watched my videos before, for any kind of computer work, whether it's like updating listings, working on reports, doing emails, things like that. Phone icon, little camera doodad to film videos. I did use a hexagon striped hexagon here, and a note a call I had with somebody. Yeah, so basically this is my planner spread situation. I always like to block things off and use boxes to indicate to-dos. I have not filmed a video in a few weeks, so I sound like I'm just babbling. And I like to layer them. Okay, I did start using the washi down here as kind of a way to add a little separation and a decorative element. So I do like how that looks. 3 boxes, daily boxes down here this particular week. This one was more like fitness and activity. And this was our first week in Tennessee. So this is why probably this is kind of a cluster. So this was like outdoor activities, like hiking, walking, things like that. This was my workouts. These were like home chore thingies. And then over here, I use the teardrops. I have some fun GI issues. So I started the specific carbohydrate diet this week, and that was just a note to me how many days of the intro diet I'd done, and my usual highlights section to write down the highlights of my week. So that was it. Now I'll put my little contact doodad there so I don't forget to change them. Okay, this is brighter, so this was a little more fun. Same layout as far as priority and to do, but this looks a little cleaner, so you can tell I'm like getting my bearings a little bit. But same concept here, again, using the boxes, I like to alternate the colors and then just layer them with an icon that brings my attention to whatever the topic or the task was about. I did use a half box with flag here, which I don't love, especially because I have all this like white space outline thing going on. I have no idea why I did that. Probably just because I ran out of the color I wanted of the outline ones. I did turn it sideways here, the outline box, to kind of take up a little bit more time in this particular day for a meeting Matt and I had. You can kind of see that's my jam, like boxes and layering icons is my life. Teardrops up here, just again to mark the remaining 3 days of that introductory diet. I did use the half box from our summer kit number 1 to put that when Matt and I went to a Luke Combs concert at the Grand Ole Opry, which is super cool. If you've ever been to the Grand Ole Opry, you know. If you haven't, go, it's really cool. Highlights. And this day, I did not use my daily docket. I did not use it at all this month. I just kind of was not in a groove. I didn't even feel like asking Matt to print it out for me. So I had these daily task checklists. So I just slapped them down here. You'll see that in the ongoing weeks. These are kind of nice. I just put down my like daily tasks I always want to do. And even though I know that's what I'm doing, I like to check it off. Sorry for all that like weird focusing issue. I moved my hands too much. Down here, this is fun and TMI for you guys for the next 2 weeks. This is my poop schedule or my poop tracker situation here. So we came out with, if you guys have GI issues or kids that do, you know about, I'm sure, the Bristol stool tracker scale, just kind of indicating the quality of your poop. Now, like I said, I have digestive issues, so I was trying to play around with using my planner to do some of the tracking of those things. I also use an app called the Cara app. So if you, again, have digestive issues, it's an awesome app. Get it. But if you like to see things on paper, you can use these to indicate how your poop is going. So I tried using this middle section of the daily boxes to just kind of like track those things. I did it kind of haphazardly and not planned out, so it didn't really, it clearly worked because I can see it, but I would have rather had also written down my food so I can make some correlations besides just tracking that. This was again just some kind of like home related chores, and the bottom is health and fitness stuff, just my workouts. Then what I decided to do on this particular week was to use this sidebar to set a weekly action step based on my goals. So I took our mini hexes that are the goal colors, and I just wrote the first letter of each of the goal categories. So personal, social, home, health, dream big, financial, and then I always add business, and just wrote one item down. I clearly could have used our weekly focus insert, but I never really use this side of my planner anyway, so I figured instead of printing another one out, I would just do that, and it worked really well, and I kind of like it. So you'll see I did that more in the continuing weeks. And then put a little quote sticker down there, and of course I have my highlights. So let's flip over. Yep, that's the next week, right? That was last week, yes. So this week, you can see I did have a to-do list here. This is our new half sheet to-do list, which I do like this. And I think I might use this ongoing. I have an idea of how I'm going to change up how I'm doing things, at least for the summer, using that potentially. Okay, so this one's a little different because I did do the top 3 here and then divided it with Washi. This was my attempt to use our summer kit. This is not a pretty spread in any sense of the word. This week was a really good week but really weird. So again, I have my top 3 here. Clearly nothing happened this day. Used, again, pieces from our summer kit, the little icons, the Hello Summer, the Washi, some of the icons from that kit. So just use, and I like these colors a lot better. They're much brighter than my first week. Same kind of style, using boxes and things, layering them. We just, like I said, we just moved to Tennessee, and I already had 2 friends that were out here. So on Tuesday I went out with one of them, and Thursday I went out with the other. And honest to God, when you have not had any social interaction for over a year, it is worth every bit of losing work time to spend time with people and socialize. Never devalue the importance of social connection. So those days were dedicated to my social goal. So I went back after the fact and put these little mini posts in there and wrote social goal, because that was one of my things, was once we got here to really focus on making some more social connections and not feeling so isolated, working from home and basically feeling like you live in a cave. So that's why this is kind of a cluster. So that kind of threw my week off, but for a good reason. Again, you see the daily task here, highlight here. I did the same thing over here with my goals, and that's really helping me because I see it right there. And it actually, even though it doesn't color coordinate great with the rest of these colors, it kind of makes me look at it. So I do like that. Another quote here, and this was another attempt at using my regular daily planner here as also my GI poop tracking situation. So in here, I just wrote breakfast, lunch, and dinner down and was kind of scribbling in what we wrote, what we ate, and then also in the same space trying to track, the business. And it worked okay. Again, I'm using the app at the same time, but I wanted to try this way of seeing it visually. I think this actually could work and I'm intermittent fasting again, so I'm only eating twice a day. So I think this actually could work if I go 1 square for breakfast, 1 square for lunch, and then use this for symptoms. So I might do that. I also want to just make my own, either bullet journal or printed insert of GI health tracking situation. So that's something I want to do for myself. Does anybody else have GI issues and would benefit from that? Let me know. So this spread was a lot more fun, and but there wasn't too much going on other than socializing. Okay, so now we're to this week, this past week, which was the last week of June. And you can see, again, we have this very depressing color situation I picked. So you can see here, this is just a tiny bit more vibrant with the darker blue. Then we go to the pastel, lighter blue. So it looks fine, but it's not very summery. So we'll not be using these colors together again. At least not in the summer. So I did here again the top 3 situation, and I just used hexagons, Xing out the things I did, arrowing over to the things that I needed to move to the next day, and my usual blocking out things that took up more time, and then just using icons next to tasks that just needed to kind of be checked off. And I like using icon stickers because if I'm ever flipping back through my planner and I need to reference when we did something or something came up, it's really easy to see something based on an icon versus just seeing a list in pen. So that is definitely one of the benefits, I think, of stickers. And I know a lot of you have shared the same thing with me. The other thing I tried to do this week was track my sleep. Clearly, this is pretty much not a beneficial activity because I do get 7 to 8 hours every night. So that was a experiment in tracking that didn't really necessarily need to be done. But if you're somebody that needs to track sleep because you're not getting great sleep, just throwing a little sleep icon on there can be a great way to just either note the quality of your sleep and or the duration. We have our workout thing here for me, and then this I used for financial stuff, for different things like that. And then I did use a to-do list. Again, clearly I didn't get very far with it. And then same thing here, use a bill due for health insurance, layering some more stuff, another one of these checklists, another goal sidebar situation here. And then I did, of course, use my daily habit tracker, doing really well the 2 and completely bombing 1 of my habits. Okay, so that is my June spreads. Just to flip through one more time, month is pretty light. We have week 1. So you can see my style's pretty much the same. I just switched from using priority as the first header, like the first 2 weeks, to using top 3. And I was gonna say it's like 50-50 on which one I like better. So that's my June. I'm hoping that July, now that we're settled in here in Tennessee, I can get back to dedicating more time to planning versus planning on a whim. And the other thing, I know I mentioned this in a previous video, but something I'm really curious about doing for myself, especially in the summer when my schedule just seems to feel different and be a little different. It's not our busiest time of year, is to keep a running weekly list and then have like a full month on this side. I don't know. Obviously I'd have to make that because that's not an ink quilt press layout, but I'm curious if that would be beneficial to me this time of year. All right, guys, so let me know how your June went. If you also felt like June was a bit of a cluster and your planner was kind of either a mess or maybe more empty or something. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm hoping to get back to filming more now that we're settled in, give you some more fun videos. And in the meantime, I will see you guys in the next one.